Hello friends, welcome back. So let's continue with our RC build. Today we are going to resume our front axle construction. So this is where we have stopped in the last episode of our front axle. In fact, not really. I have made certain improvisation in the structure. First one is that the excess length of the shaft. The wheel shaft was cut and a coupler is attached on both the ends. So this is the coupler which we will use for the further transmission of the power. Another change which I have made is I have changed the bevel gear from the drive shaft or from the gearbox. In fact, it was not locked to the metal shaft. So after lubrication, the gear tends to rotate in the shaft itself. So I have to cut a slit to lock the gear onto it, and same way I have to replace the gear. So let's have a look at the parts which we are going to assemble today. So this is the mounting arm for the wheel mount. So on both sides of our transmission box we will mount these arms. Before proceeding any further, let's first of all let's screw this distribution box and make it intact. So this is the coupler which we are going to use in this coupling joint. So it's a cylinder basically cut into 4 quarters, two of which is with the first coupling unit and two of which is with the second coupling unit, and when both these units join together it will form a perfect cylinder. Let's align the right and left arms and start the assembly process. Before installing, let's match the coupling units first, because there may be millimeters of fraction of millimeters of difference between the two coupling units which I have sanded to a perfect shape. First of all, let's pass the rod through the arms and then engage the coupling unit. Now let's engage the coupling unit to the first half of the coupler, which is already installed inside the distribution box, and secure the joint with the help of two M2 screws. The outer side of the arm is already fitted with a hexa coupler, which we have made to couple the joint with the universal joint. And as you can see inside the universal joint there is a hexa slot which is perfectly fit to this hexa coupler. We can we can lock this joint with the help of a 1 mm hole which is made on both the coupling unit as well as the universal joint. So as you can see on the right side we are obtaining a perfect movement of the coupler. So let's engage the left side arms and the coupler. Here also same procedure. First of all engage the rod into the arms, then engage the coupler from the other side. Have 2-3 taps to secure the bond, then engage the arms to the main distribution box with the help of two M2 screws. Basically the purpose of this coupler is to protect our main transmission system, that is about the gears which are moving perpendicular to each other, from the drifts and rags of universal joints attached at both the ends of these coupling units. Because once the universal joints move in an angle, it will not move as smoothly as when it is at an angle of 0 degree or 180 degree, what we say. So as you can see both sides the mounting arms are ready. Now just let's check the smooth movement of the coupling unit which we have inserted between the main distribution box and the arms. In place of these hexa coupling units we can also use a quadra coupling units also for better traction between the joint. So let's move on to the next part, and that is the mounting of the wheel mounts. Before mounting the wheel mounts into the arms, let's engage the wheel bearing. That is, there is a housing on the inner side of the wheel mountings, onto which we can insert a 4 into 3 into 10 millimeter bearing. Inner side of the rod is equipped with the same hexa coupler to engage it into the other side of the universal joint on the inside the bearing to the housing and press it down to a perfect fit. Now the bearings are perfectly in position and we can proceed further. On the outer end, we will engage a wheel mounting disc. This disc is equipped with a 3 2mm holes to mount the wheels, which align with the holes on the rims. And we can mount the wheels easily with the help of 2 or 3 M2 screws. So the wheel mounting disc is engaged. Allow a clearance of 1 mm to 1.5 mm between the wheel mount and the disc for smooth rotation. Repeat the same procedure for the other side mounting also. So both our wheel mounts are ready. Now let's engage these mounts to the mounting arms, which we have already attached to the distribution box. Outer side of the wheel mounts and the universal joint both are engaged simultaneously in a tricky way. In order to lock the wheel mounts into the mounting arms, we will use a specially designed steering arms. After mounting the wheel mounts, the steering arms, which is also equipped with a hexa projection, and the wheel mounts with a hexa slot, get coupled and screwed intact in order to lock both the wheel mounts as well as the steering arms at the same time. Align the wheel mounts perpendicularly and then engage the steering arms at the required inclined position and then secure it with the help of one M2 screw. At this stage, I was facing some slipping issues between the joint of the arms and the steering mounts because the hexa slot and the hexa projection of the steering arms has very little tolerance due to the nature of 3D printing. So you can use a quadra slot or a triangle slot in place of hexa slot for much better traction. Let's confirm the smooth movement and rotation of the universal joint before proceeding any further. One very important point to remember is that the central axis of the point of rotation will match or should match with the central axis of the moment of rotation of the universal joint. Now let's assemble the right side mounting also in the same way. So as you can see, both sides the steering arms are ready. Now let's engage the steering ramp. This ramp will connect both the arms so that it can be connected to a central point or a servo through which we can control the rotation or the angle of both the arms from a single point. The only part left with is to mounting the wheels. We can mount the wheels with the help of 3 M2 screws easily into the wheel disc. Notice a slight change in the mounting angle of the steering arms on the right side, which is a defect which I have faced, which is a defect which I have observed after the assembly. I will rectify it before mounting it finally into the chassis. So here we are obtaining a smooth movement of both the joints and the universal joints in working inside it, and the steering arms are also moving perfectly because the ramp hole is made at 2.2 mm for a free movement of 2 mm screws inside that, and one of the end of this steering arms will go to the steering servo. Since it is very difficult to obtain a practical working movement for a limited slip differential, I decided to go for the log differential. So this is a 100% working and a practical demo. You can also try it I can share the STL files if you want. You can comment me on this video for the STL files. Hope you all like the build and enjoyed the video, and you can mention it on the comments as well. You can support my endeavor with likes and shares. Hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for watching. See you. Bye bye.